How are you?
All is good. Thank you for asking.
Is it your first day at the show?
It's my second day at the show.
Okay.
I arrived yesterday and I won the iconic award of the year in the F&B week.
Wow.
So that was very rewarding for us.
Mabruk.
Thank you very much.
That's a wonderful achievement.
Thank you.
What do you find of the show? Like, if you could give me like top 2 or top 3 points when you first walked in here, what do you think?
I was impressed. I was speechless, and I wanted to look at everything. I wanted to stop by everyone. It seemed like this was, in my opinion, this is one of the biggest I saw, not only in Saudi Arabia, but in the GCC, to the ones I visited. Now, that being said, the number of suppliers that are here is quite impressive. And having people either from Turkey or from Italy or from other parts in the world, and they're here and they're trying to make deals, not only show you something. I was passing by this Chinese group yesterday, and they were converting yen to rial and to dollars, and they were finalizing a deal with 2 couples. This to me was quite impressive. These events are not only to present, but also to potentially close deals now.
Yes.
Yes.
Business is a very big part of what is the aim of the game here, for sure.
Which is quite impressive as well.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about you specifically, and I would like to start with finding out how you got into the space of hospitality.
I told the story to someone last week, I think, or the week before, and she started laughing.
I can't wait to hear it now.
So I'm an engineer. I'm an aeronautic and mechanical engineer. That's what I did in my bachelor and my master's. After I completed my studies, I worked for several companies and I ended up with Aramco at the end. Long story short, as I was working there, I had an opportunity to travel overseas and to work overseas for Aramco. As I came back, I always wondered, before I went and after I came, why we don't have restaurants, high-end restaurants in Saudi. But it wasn't something that I was looking after all the time. My goal was to create my own factory. And I had a very good product that was going to be before its time to create it here in Saudi. Long story short, I went to banks, I asked for money. They said, you know what, we will give you 20 million out of 30, but you have to source the 10. That time still, fresh employees. In the beginning of my life, something like that was not even possible during that time. So to me, it was, I will need cash and I need cash fast. And it had to be either I work in clothing or I work in fast food or in food. Okay. Long story short, I entered F&B. I loved it. I fell in love with it too much, to the extreme that from starting a brand that is Takara, which is a Japanese cuisine, upper casual that presents a fine dining experience in the Eastern Province, to one of the biggest F&B groups in the kingdom. I haven't left my dream of becoming a factory owner, but in the meantime, I'm enjoying hospitality and I'm loving what happens in it, and seeing the growth that the country is going toward with such expos, with such growth is making me happier and happier, and making me wanting to be part of such a growth, even if it was just hospitality in the moment.
Oh, that is a good story. I'm curious, what would you manufacture in your factory?
That would still have to be there. It hasn't gotten, it hasn't come to Saudi yet.
Okay, now, what was the initial inspiration for Takara Restaurant, and then what led to the expansion of the group?
I'm the kind of person that really loves Japanese food.
Okay.
I love food, as I was raised by a woman that made some of the best foods that you could ever have, truly. To the extreme that some of my friends would come and knock the door and say, please, ask your mom to make us a feast. A lady who appreciated spices, appreciated a combination of local ingredients, fresh and high quality ingredients to make amazing food for her kids or her visitors. That is something that was not easy to find, unfortunately, back in time. Food, if you go to a restaurant, it was just food.
Yeah.
You're paying to eat. You're not paying to enjoy. You're not paying to create memories. So that was something that I really wanted. I wanted to create something back in time that is you're not only also getting just food that is so tasty and focuses on high quality ingredients, but also to have an experience, to walk throughout a journey as you're entering Takara. Following that, I realized that the market doesn't just want Japanese. There is other things that were missing within the market. And as a fan of smash burger, during a time where the Eastern Province was only focused on either gourmet burgers, either flame charcoal burgers, wasn't something I would enjoy. So I had to make my food or my burgers always at home. That's where Sold Out came from. We wanted to create something that also provide an experience, that also provide an exceptional dining for our clients. So first Sold Out was made to be part of the Eastern Province in a way that we focused on the elements within the region. And having the port over there, we created a restaurant that is made out of containers. So we grabbed 7 containers, we put them all together, and created one of the best fast casual restaurants within the Eastern Province, and we just won What's On Award for Best Burger in Saudi Arabia. Then, just like the Japanese, I love grills. I love grills like no other. And one of my favorite food is Persian cuisines, or one of my best cuisines. That being said, in Saudi and in Bahrain, it was not something that is easy for us to find with high-end quality or delicious quality, let me say that. And so we wanted to create a restaurant that still provide the best quality, best food, and when you eat it and you leave, you don't feel so heavy. So we benchmarked ourselves with London and with Dubai. We looked at best restaurants in those regions, and that's what we wanted to compete with. And that brand was a serious success, to the extreme that within the first couple months, we had to increase its space by 40% more. The demand is quite high for such cuisine, and we look forward to being in Riyadh very soon with all of them.
Nothing comes without challenges, of course. So what have been some of the biggest setbacks that you've had in this vision to expand your F&B portfolio?
I wouldn't call it setbacks. I always like to look at it from perspective of challenges, like you began.
Yes.
Reality is one of the things that we always faced challenges, or that always challenged us from the beginning, was food supply.
Okay.
Was something that is quite hard to find, and if you do, stocks are not always available.
Right.
And for me, to avoid something similar, to avoid this issue, I created a trading arm. We called it Santiam, and it only focuses on high quality ingredients, focuses on grabbing such materials from parts either locally from part of the regions within Saudi Arabia, or import whatever is missing in the market.
Okay.
And we've gone through ensuring that that challenge is decreasing for us. And thankfully, within today's market, we're not only supplying our restaurants, we're also supplying other restaurants within the market.
Wow.
Yes.
That's very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
What have been some of the career highlights you've had as a custodian of an F&B brand in Saudi Arabia?
Just recently, I was in Ziba when it first opened. And I always like either to serve the tables or become a cashier in one of the outlets.
Really?
Truly.
Okay, that's nice.
I do like to meet the people. I do like to get to know the people. And there is nothing better than meeting people from all backgrounds. So being in Ziba, this gentleman comes in and he asks, who's the owner of the restaurant? So I tell him it is me. So he says, impressive food, impressive experience.
Yeah.
We created the restaurant in a way that you're not entering a normal restaurant, you're entering a museum that is filled of experiences in every corner from the Persian era. That being said, the guy loved it too much, so he asked, what restaurants do you have? So I tell him Takara, and he says, no way. My wife is having dinner over there with her friends. What else do you have? So I tell him sold out. The guy stands up and he says, you know that my kids literally have early dinner there today. This to me is something that makes me speechless. We're contributing to a region, we're contributing to people, we're touching a lot of people's souls with our food. People are enjoying that. And we consider them in everything that we do. We consider them in terms of pricing, we consider them in terms of experience. One of the things that always pushed me was, what can I do to make a customer, when he enters unhappy, to make him leave happy? If I don't see people finishing their foods, I would walk out to their tables to make sure that they're enjoying the experience, that that I'm contributing to the happiness that they have in that given day. That is something that's important to me, and in my career, it's something that I look after. And thankfully, we've developed an environment through my team that everyone is looking for this. I remember the first month my director of operation walks in. I think to me, he was thinking, you know what, I moved to the eastern region. This area is much less than Dubai, than maybe Riyadh. What was funny, he was one of the people that truly realized what we do. He went and he stood in front of the restaurant for 3 days. And he says, you know that 99% of the clients that are leaving the restaurants are smiling.
Wow.
This is something that always pushes us to do more.
Now, out of all the jobs that you do in the restaurants, which has been your favorite? Cashier or serving? What do you find yourself enjoying the most?
2-3 months every year, I'm standing officially as a cashier and sold out. This is to me the world. And in 2-3 minutes, I can connect to a client. Not only I can give him something that he will enjoy, to the extreme that I wait for everyone after I give them my recommendation for them to come back and say thank you. We love the food. This is to me is the world.
So you do this every 2 or 3 months?
During winter times, as soon as the season starts,
Yeah.
I am there. Being a waiter in Takara is one of the most beautiful things. And I'll tell you a story that happened when we first opened the restaurant. Back after Corona passed, people started going out to restaurants. And one of the funny things was, I was serving a table of a lady, and the lady next to us on a different table was asking, what is your name? To the other girl. Who's your mom? Give me her number. To me, I wondered. So I tried to stay around the table just to gauge what is going on here.
Right.
Right? So this lady was impressed by this girl that she wanted to have her engaged to her son. This to me
No way.
is something that above and beyond. We did contribute to a future life of two people together. This makes me truly speechless.
I have to visit this restaurant. I think I will get
can't
more
wait.
than my meal.
I can't wait to have you there. I'll tell you what. In my restaurants, one of the things that we focus on also is, I have 4 girls. Tuma, Rima, Noura, and Haifa. And I have them in all my menus.
Beautiful.
So in Takara, I have them in my makis. You could order Rima Maki, which is one of our best sellers. You go to Ziba, you could order Saf Noura, which is one of the best selling drinks as well. So in Ziba, I had them in the drinks. In Takara, I had them with us in the makis. And these are things that people really, really appreciate.
Yeah. That's beautiful. How do you, what's your secret to maintaining such high standards? The competition in Saudi Arabia, specifically in Riyadh, is getting stronger. How do you stay on top of your game, even though there's so many brands coming to compete in the space?
One of our suppliers, one of our manpower suppliers was asking, what do you do? So I said, to what? So he said, I have clients coming in and arguing and being upset that we are giving you, or we're supporting you with better employees than what we support them with. To me, it just clicked that we work on 3 values within a restaurant. So we work based on respect, we work based on family feeling and working as a family, and finally we work based on honesty. Not only we make sure that our suppliers gets their money on the 5th and our employees gets their money always on the 1st. No matter if I can't eat, these people will get their money. This have created a feeling that everyone within the restaurants feels the ownership of it, provides the best possible experience and journey to the clients that they come in. With that also, if I go to food supply, I'm getting the best ingredients into my kitchen to make sure that the best food you could potentially have there. And those are the things that we truly focus on as a group. So best food quality, best service, and maintaining close relations with our clients. So despite the fact if you have 20, 30, 100 restaurants within the city, we've developed such clients. Not only in the Eastern Province, we have people that are flying from Riyadh or coming from Riyadh on weekend basis to enjoy our food over there. Every restaurant, if they focus on these things, they would flourish. I hear of restaurants that are not as big as some of the names in the market, and they're staying in places such as the IFC in Dubai for 20, 30 years. And they're not as big as some of the big names in the market. These guys are doing something right. And such experiences that such restaurants and groups have is what we focus on. And we try to tailor it toward the Saudi or the local market here.
Yes. What makes you such a good leader? Where does this come from?
In my company, we all are bosses. I listen to everyone, and everyone listens literally to everyone. A decision is not made by one. First of all, we focus on creating decisions through studies, through well-calculated numbers, which gives to everyone to recommend. I wouldn't want to say that this company is led by one. My company is actually led by all of us. And it is truly our company as a group, from a steward all the way to the CEO. Everyone has a voice, everyone is respected within, and everyone is a leader within their own division or their own department. It is not for me to tell marketing, listen, you do what I say. No. It's for marketing to tell us what should we do.
Right.
It is for restaurant managers to tell us how we should act and how we should work. When I tell you that I'm working as a waiter or as a cashier, I'm not the manager on that place. I'm only supporting the manager to cover these places. And if the manager doesn't like me to be a cashier and ask me out, I will go out.
Wow.
So it is to this level that we're committed.
Very unique perspective. I'm really impressed by your answer to that question. I know that local taste is a very big priority for you. Can you describe what is local taste? What is the Saudi Arabia local taste? To somebody, for example, like me, who might be new to the region, how would you describe the local taste to me?
Can I ask you what food you like?
I'm a big meat fan. Yeah.
You like spicy food or
Love
non-spicy?
spicy food.
You see what you said? You love meat and you love spicy. People in Saudi, they love the same thing. They don't appreciate too much of spicy food, but they appreciate spicy food. They appreciate spices, they appreciate salt, and they appreciate sugar. Truly, they appreciate sauces like no one else in the world. Understanding these perspectives and catering to those people, or catering with understanding those perspectives or having these perspectives in your background, gets you to be able to understand the taste of the market. And then one of the things that I would say obvious, I'm a Saudi. So I lived with them for so long. I understand what they like, what they don't like. I understand that we don't appreciate raw food in Japanese restaurants, but we love tempura. We love makis like no other.
Right.
And if you add on the maki sauce, you killed it. So those are things that we developed throughout. And being part of this background helped me out a lot. And being able to travel and to see the world and understand other perspectives on how to create something that is fused with ideas from abroad and catering that to our market here, truly was one of my success keys.
What do you make of the F&B space? So it's growing. There's so many new restaurants. There's so many new hotel brands. There's even more signings happening. There's so much vacancy coming. It's changed, obviously, from when it was before to where it is now. What do you think about where it stands right now?
I think Riyadh is oversaturated with restaurants that don't understand the local taste.
Okay, fair enough.
I believe that Saudi Arabia, there are so many regions within the kingdom that needs to be looked at and looked after. I do believe that you don't need to bring a franchise. You need to look at local concepts. One of the things about Saudi is we're extremely nationalistic. We love our country and we love our people and we'll always support.
Right.
And one of the beautiful things is when you meet expats in Saudi, they want to go and eat in local restaurants. So Saudis want to support local restaurants. They go eat in local restaurants because because local restaurants understand their taste palette.
Right.
While some of the franchisees that come over here, that is not something that's understood, and they cannot change the brand. They cannot change the dishes that are there.
Yeah.
They cannot change some of the standards that are there. So maybe instead of bringing franchisees, maybe franchise from the locals or create local restaurants. The market is impressive.
Yes.
I pass sometimes throughout some restaurants here and I see a tower of a shawarma place. A place that's 2-3 floors. And I'm like, how do these guys make money? You look inside, the places are full. This is quite impressive. It is just that perspective to be understood. What is the local taste that you're presenting to? We're not presenting in Dubai.
Yes.
You're presenting in Riyadh. You're presenting in Saudi Arabia. And the number of expats here are much less than the number of expats
Yes.
in such a city as Dubai. Similarly, if you're looking at Dubai and Abu Dhabi,
Yes.
same food doesn't work. These people have their own food. Dubai and the amount or the diversification that is there, they have different type of food. I'll tell you something that's quite impressive.
Yes.
Yesterday, my wife was telling me, listen, you've killed it with all these restaurants. Please make it an Indian restaurant.
Ah.
See, this is something that I wouldn't say that there is a good Indian restaurants within the kingdom, but in a lot of locations it has been lacked. In a
Okay.
lot of regions, it's not there. Okay, so that is those are such things that is close to the local palate, and at the same time, it's not available.
That's a very interesting perspective. So, in getting to know you a little bit better, what are some of the places you enjoy eating when you're traveling? Is there like a specific brand or place that you must go to when you visit some of your favorite destinations?
I'll tell you this: I don't usually look for brands.
Okay.
I look for local cuisines, the place that is under the stairs.
Yes.
You know, those are the places that I really go to. And I'm a guy who really and simply appreciate a good bread with a little bit of feta cheese.
Okay.
So, that being said, if I'm going to Italy, I'm looking for a margherita or red sauce macaron
Okay.
or spaghetti. That's what I would look for. You wouldn't see me in a brand
Okay.
name. You wouldn't see me in a fine dining restaurant. You will definitely see me in this small mom and dad shop.
Yes. And what's your favorite place to visit? Where do you like to travel?
Well, currently I love traveling to Riyadh.
That's a good answer.
It's a beautiful city, it's a growing city, and every time you come to Riyadh, you see something new. As I said earlier, one of the most impressive things is seeing the amount of growth that happened here. Look at the place we're sitting in.
Right.
This is something in my wildest dreams. I wouldn't have thought I could see this here. I could have seen it in elsewhere, in other parts in the world.
Sure.
But it was never something that I thought that I would see here. I was with a friend a month ago traveling to Riyadh, and one of the things he said, is first time I came to Riyadh, I said Riyadh is old city.
Okay.
Second time he came with me, he said Ahmed, Riyadh is a modern city.
Wow.
Imagine what happens month on month in Riyadh. And that can tell you with such growth that is happening truly. And per hour in such a city. What is going to happen within the next month? What's going to happen within the next year? The Vision 2030 is something that will make Saudi Arabia potentially number one destination in the world.
What needs to happen to achieve that, in your opinion?
Working together,
Okay.
working as one hand, pushing toward this. I play my role as a small restaurateur. Maybe someone else is playing their role in other positions. Just we all contribute to the vision, believe in it, and push forward for it.
It's a very humble view. You are not a small restaurateur. You're a very big restaurateur in this market. I will ask you, what's your expansion plans for Takara Hospitality Group? Is there anything you can tell us that's already in the pipeline? And then maybe what's your vision?
I'll say we're coming to Riyadh. We're expanding nationally, and you might hear our name globally very, very soon.
Okay, well, that's very good. I also want to ask you, when you are not working in F&B and hospitality, what are you doing on your free time?
Playing with my girls.
Very nice.
They're the best thing I've ever had.
Oh,
truly,
beautiful.
truly. Just having to hear their laughs, having to hear their jokes is the world to me.
If you had to give advice to a young, budding entrepreneur who wants to start a restaurant in this business, in this region, and they're looking to you as inspiration, what advice would you give them?
Create educated plans. Make sure that you have a proper feasibility studies done. Understand what you're going to sell. Understand the unique selling point that you have. Will it sell or not? From there, you could begin a little by little. And don't let anybody to tell you no, or it's not possible, or you're wasting your money. If you have a proper calculated plan, push for it, and make sure that you always have plan B and C. Don't just have one.
Vacation or a staycation?
Vacation.
Okay. Sugar or spice?
No spice.
Do you like store-bought items or do you like to make your own items at home?
Make my own.
Okay. Do you like ocean view or city view?
Ocean view.
And do you prefer to see life as glass half full or half empty?
Half full.
Very nice. Thank you so much for your
No,
time.
thank you.
It was a pleasure getting to
Thank
know
you.
you. Congratulations yet again on all your successes. And we are going to stay tuned because you've got some interesting things coming up that we're looking forward to hearing.
Finger crossed. Thank you for having me here.
Of course.
And thanks for your time, truly.
Thank you.